What's up, everyone? Okay, real quick. Have you ever agreed to something just to make your partner happy, even though deep down you knew it was a bad idea? Yeah, that was me. I let my girlfriend open our relationship because I loved her. And guess what? She had her fun, sure. But I'm the one who ended up finding someone who actually loved me for real. Would you ever agree to an open relationship if your partner asked? Let me know in the comments. And hey, hit like if you've ever been in a relationship that pushed your limits. Subscribe if you're into true stories that make you shake your head and say, "No way, that just happened." All right, let me take you back to the beginning. So, let me give you the full picture. My name's Riley Fleming. I met Madison Roses in college. She was the type of girl who walked into a room and just took it over. Loud laugh, quick wit, always had something wild to say. Me, total opposite. I was the quiet one, headphones in, hoodie up, trying to survive 8 a.m. lectures and maybe finish my psych degree without a breakdown. But somehow we clicked. It started with a group project. She made fun of my terrible handwriting, and I joked about how she couldn't go 5 minutes without checking her phone. We ended up grabbing coffee after class, and that turned into studying together, then late-night talks, then staying over at each other's places. So often we just kind of merged. Before I knew it, we were 5 years in. Now don't get me wrong, Madison loved me. At least I think she did. She used to say stuff like, "You're the calm in my chaos," and I'd just smile like an idiot because, yeah, I was all in. She was the kind of person who needed constant excitement, always planning the next trip, the next party, the next big idea. Me, I was just happy to sit on the couch, order some Thai food, and watch trash TV with her. But we balanced each other. Or, I thought we did. We talked about the future. Kids. A house. Even baby names. Once she wanted something bold like Phoenix or Storm. I wanted something simple like Ben. Normal life stuff. We had just moved in together. Signed the lease, bought a blender, did the whole "what's your drawer, what's mine" argument. I thought we were locking things in. Like this was it. My person. But here's the thing. Somewhere along the way, something shifted. And I didn't see it until it was too late. So this is where things started to feel off. About 6 months after we moved in together, Madison landed this new job at some trendy digital marketing agency. The type, beanbags, cold brew on tap, with like a family energy. At first, she was hyped. She loved the office vibe, the creative work, all that. And I was happy for her. I mean, seeing her excited again, that felt good. But then she met them. Remy Baldwin, Zara Patton, Esmeralda Riley, her girls. I remember the first time she brought them up. "Babe, I met the coolest people at work. They're so fun. Like wild fun." And I was like, "Cool, you should invite them over sometime." They never came over. Instead, Madison started going out with them. First, it was once a week. Then twice. Then it was, "I'm going out after work. Don't wait up," like every other night. I didn't want to be that controlling boyfriend, so I played it cool. Told myself, she's just making friends. She's still coming home to me. But then she started saying stuff that made my stomach twist. She'd come home a little tipsy, drop her heels at the door, and start with these offhand comments like, "Zara says monogamy's just a social construct." Or, "Remy thinks open relationships actually save marriages." She laughed when she said it like it was just girl talk, but there was this edge to her voice. And one night, out of nowhere, she just asked, "What would you think about us opening things up?" I literally laughed because I thought she was joking. Like dead serious, I said, "Wait, what?" She didn't laugh. She said she'd been thinking about it for a while. That she loved me, of course she loved me. But she felt like she hadn't lived. That maybe we were too young to settle. That it wasn't about not loving me. It was about experiencing life. I just stared at her. Like, what was I supposed to say to that? I told her no. Straight up. I said I wasn't wired that way. That I didn't want to sleep with anyone else. And I didn't want her to either. I said, "If something's missing, let's talk about it. but don't bring strangers into our relationship like it's a game. And then she hit me with it. I'm not trying to cheat, Riley. I'm trying to be honest before I make a mistake. Damn, that one got me. She said, wouldn't it be better if we're honest with each other instead of sneaking around? And the worst part, she actually looked sad, like she hated asking, like this was tearing her up. So what did I do? I caved. I told her, okay, but we set rules. We do it right. And if this ruins us, I'm out. And she promised. Said she just wanted to explore a little, then come back to me. Said it would make us stronger. Spoiler alert, it didn't. So yeah, I said yes. I agreed to open up our relationship, but not without some rules. I wasn't about to go into this blind. We sat on the couch, her legs curled up, my heart in pieces, and we talked. Or, I guess, I laid down the few things that would keep me from falling apart. Rule 1. No bringing anyone back to the apartment. That's our space, our home. I didn't want to smell cologne on our pillows or feel like I was sleeping in someone else's shadow. Rule 2. Always be honest. If something happens, tell the truth. No hiding it, no gaslighting. Rule 3. No one from work, no one from our inner circle. Keep it clean. Keep it distant. She agreed. Said it was smart. Said she'd rather be transparent than sneaky. And then it began. She started going out more. Not just with the girls anymore, but on dates. One night she came home late, way past midnight. I was half asleep on the couch. She walked in smiling, heels in her hand, and kissed me on the forehead like I was her little brother or something. I asked how her night went. She said it was good. Chill. Just dinner and drinks. She didn't mention Alvaro Bass. I found out about him later. Accidentally. She left her phone on the kitchen counter while showering. I wasn't snooping, I swear. But a text lit up the screen. Last night was unreal. I've never seen anyone look at me like that. And then, round 2 this weekend. My chest just dropped. When she came out wrapped in a towel, I asked, "Who's Alvaro?" She froze, like fully deer in headlights. Then she said, "He's just someone I met. It's casual. You said we could, remember?" I did say that. I did. But hearing his name, seeing the texts, feeling how quickly I was being replaced, none of this felt casual. Still, I tried. I really did. I downloaded the apps. Bumble, Hinge, all of it. I went on a few dates. Grabbed coffee with a girl who wouldn't stop talking about her cat. Had lunch with a woman who asked how much I made within the first 10 minutes. Swiped left on humanity more times than I want to admit. But it didn't work. No matter how hard I tried, it just felt wrong. There was one date where the woman leaned in to kiss me goodnight, and I literally stepped back, apologized, told her I wasn't ready, drove home in silence, and sat in my car for 20 minutes just staring at the steering wheel. Meanwhile, Madison? She was glowing, wearing new outfits, doing her makeup in ways she never did for me, humming while she got ready, coming home late, texting someone with this little smile that she used to have just for me. And the wildest part, she'd still check in. "Are you okay? Are you seeing anyone? We're still good, right?" I'd say yes, but I wasn't. Not even close. That open door she wanted, it didn't set us free. It just gave her an exit and left me standing in the doorway, wondering if I was still enough. So here I was, emotionally exhausted, barely sleeping, and questioning every decision I'd made since college, when my sister decided I needed a reset. She kept nagging me to join this local book club she was in. Now listen, I hadn't picked up a novel since high school. I wasn't anti-books or anything. I just wasn't in the mood to pretend I cared about some fictional love triangle when my real life one was eating me alive. But she wouldn't drop it. Just come once. If you hate it, you never have to go again. So I went, miserable, probably looked like a ghost in a hoodie. And that's where I met Fernando Valencia. He was sitting at the far end of the circle, sipping tea out of a chipped mug, wearing this paint-splattered denim jacket that looked like it had its own backstory. The topic that day was the picture of Dorian Gray. Some deep stuff. Most people were tossing out surface-level takes like beauty fades and it's about vanity. But Fernando? He said something like, the tragedy wasn't just Dorian's choices. It was how no one ever really saw his soul. They just liked his face. And I swear the whole room just paused. He looked up from the book, met my eyes, and said, "You ever feel like that? Like people love the idea of you, not you." And right then I knew this guy got it. After the meeting, he struck up a conversation. Nothing flirty, nothing heavy, just real. We talked about books, then music, then life stuff. I told him a bit about my situation with Madison, and he didn't look shocked or judgy. He just nodded like, "Yeah, that sounds hard." He wasn't trying to fix me. He was just there. We exchanged numbers. Next thing I knew, we were texting about this weird indie film he liked. Then grabbing coffee at a hole-in-the-wall spot he swore had the best pastries in town. Coffee turned into late-night walks through the park. Late-night walks turned into deep talks on his apartment balcony. And those talks, they cracked something open in me I didn't know was still alive. Fernando didn't just listen, he heard me. Every word. He'd ask things like, "What makes you feel safe?" Or, "When's the last time someone made you feel wanted?" And I'd sit there, struggling to answer, because no one had asked me that in years, maybe ever. He never made a move, never pushed, never took advantage. But the way he looked at me, man, it was like he saw me. Not the broken, unsure, second-choice version Madison had left behind, but the real me, the one I forgot existed. For the first time in months, I felt calm. I felt chosen. And the wildest part? I wasn't chasing it. I didn't notice the change in me at first, but everyone else did. My sister asked why I was suddenly texting with a smirk on my face. My coworkers started making comments like, "You've been in a good mood lately, what's her name?" Even my Spotify Wrapped betrayed me. Less sad piano tracks, more soul playlists. And I'd be lying if I said Fernando didn't have something to do with that. Being around him made me feel light, seen, safe. It wasn't physical, not yet. But emotionally, oh yeah, we were already there. I started looking forward to our time together in a way I hadn't felt with Madison in years. With him, I didn't have to perform. I didn't have to worry about being enough. He just liked me. Simple as that. Then came the shift, again. Madison noticed. One night, I was getting ready to head out. Nothing major, just a casual dinner with Fernando. I was actually humming in the bathroom, brushing my hair, which is something I never do. She stood in the doorway watching me. "You going out?" I nodded. "Yeah, just dinner." "With someone you've been seeing?" I paused. "Yeah." She didn't say anything for a second. Then she asked it. "Are you catching feelings?" I looked her dead in the eye, and I said maybe. I don't know, but I feel good when I'm with him. Like I can breathe again. And just like that, her whole vibe changed. She stopped going out. No more late nights. No more Alvaro bass. She started cooking dinner again, asking if I wanted to watch a movie, folding my laundry. She even brought home my favorite ice cream one night, the kind she always used to say was too sweet. But the timing wasn't lost on me. All these sweet gestures didn't start until she realized I wasn't waiting around anymore. It was like now that I was choosing someone else, even emotionally, she finally remembered who I was and what we had. But here's the thing. I wasn't sure I wanted it anymore. There was this one moment right after dinner when she leaned in to kiss me, like old times, and I let her, but it felt empty, forced, like she was trying to rewind something that had already played out. She pulled back and looked at me. "What's wrong?" I didn't even know how to answer. The truth? Something had broken, and not in a dramatic, crashing way. More like a slow crack that finally reached the center. She thought she could open the door, go explore, and come back to find me waiting like nothing changed. But I had changed. Fernando changed me. Not just because he was sweet and thoughtful and emotionally mature, but because he reminded me what it feels like to be loved right. And Madison? She noticed, but by then the damage had already been done. It was a Sunday morning when it all came to a head. I had just gotten back from staying the night at Fernando's. We didn't do anything crazy, just watched a movie, talked on the balcony until 3 a.m., fell asleep on the couch with his dog curled up between us. It was simple, easy, real. When I walked into our apartment, Madison was sitting at the kitchen table. Hair a mess, eyes puffy, still in her old college sweatshirt. She looked like she hadn't slept. She didn't say anything at first, just stared at me while I took off my jacket. I could feel something brewing, but I didn't expect that. Are you in love with him? That was her first sentence. Not hello, not how was your night, just straight to the heart of it. I froze. I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no either. And that silence, it broke her. I thought this was just about having fun, she whispered. I thought you'd go on a few dates, get bored, and come back. Like I did. She stood up, shaking, tears already falling. I didn't think you'd find someone who actually makes you happy. Not like this. I didn't know what to say. I just stood there, holding my keys, feeling like the bad guy in a story she started. Then she cracked wide open. I want to stop, she said, sobbing. I want to close it. I don't want anyone else. I don't care about Alvaro or anyone else. I only ever wanted you. She fell to her knees, literally, dropped to the floor, and held onto my legs like I was about to disappear through the floorboards. Please, she cried. I messed up. I thought I needed to experience something different, but all I did was ruin the best thing I ever had. She said she missed me, missed our quiet mornings, our inside jokes, the way I'd always fill her gas tank without her asking. She said she didn't feel whole without me. And the crazy part, I believed her. I could see it, the pain, the regret, the raw, honest wreckage of what she'd done. But that didn't mean it fixed anything. I knelt down, gently pulled her hands off my legs, and helped her up. She was shaking, still crying. I told her, you don't get to break someone's heart, then panic when they figure out how to heal it without you. She begged me to stay, said we could go to counseling, start over, build something better, said she'd do anything, even cut off all her friends who encouraged this whole mess in the first place. And look, maybe a few months ago, that would have worked. I would have fallen all over myself to try again, to fix it. But now I knew what it felt like to be loved in a way that didn't hurt. So I told her I needed space, time, maybe more than that. She sobbed harder, said she'd wait, said she'd prove to me that she still deserved this love. But part of me knew she was too late. So here's the part that really messed with my head. After Madison's meltdown, things got quiet. She stopped going out. No more late-night outfits or flirty text tones. She started cooking again, folding laundry, playing my favorite playlists like old times. On the surface, it looked like she was trying to fix things, but under that calm, there was something off, something too clean, too rehearsed. So one night, I did the thing I swore I wouldn't do again. I checked her old phone. She had left it in a drawer after upgrading, hadn't wiped it yet. I told myself I was just curious, looking for closure, but we both know what I was doing. I needed the truth. And what I found, let's just say she'd been exploring long before she brought it up. There were messages, asterisk, asterisk months, asterisk, asterisk before the open relationship conversation, with a guy named Moises Estes, a coworker. Apparently, they had gotten close on a project. Lots of late nights at the office, coffee runs, inside jokes. The messages started out innocent, work stuff, but then it turned into, I wish I could talk to Riley the way I talk to you. You get me in a way he doesn't. And then, do you ever think we met too late? Yeah, she was already emotionally cheating. And I realized something that nearly made me sick. The whole open relationship idea wasn't about freedom. It was damage control, asterisk, asterisk. A way to justify feelings she was already having. A loophole to erase guilt. She didn't want us to explore. She wanted a free pass for a mistake she'd already made. All those nights, she said, she was finding herself. She was just covering her tracks. And the worst part, Moises wasn't even in the picture anymore. I found one final message from her that said, "I can't do this. I think I still love Riley." So she ghosted him, spun the story into something noble, and came back to me like she had just now realized her worth. But I saw it now. It wasn't a bold, new chapter. It was a cover-up, and I was never supposed to find out. I sat there in the dark, phone in my hand, just hollow, like I'd been grieving a version of us that never really existed. I kept thinking about all the nights I stayed up wondering what I was doing wrong, while she was busy choosing someone else, and still came home to me. I knew right then I wasn't just heartbroken anymore. I was done being lied to. I didn't sleep that night. After reading those messages, I just sat there in the dark with my thoughts crawling all over me like ants. It wasn't just anger. It wasn't even heartbreak anymore. It was this heavy, soul-level tired. Tired of feeling like I was trying to hold together something that she broke. Tired of pretending we were on the same page when she was out here writing an entirely different story. I didn't bring it up right away. I waited a few days, let the truth settle into my bones. Thought about everything. About me. About her. About Fernando. And then one morning, while she was making breakfast like everything was fine, like we hadn't shattered, I told her, "I can't go back, Madison." She turned around slowly, spatula in hand. "What?" "I can't pretend anymore. I can't rebuild something you set fire to and walked away from." She went pale, put the spatula down, walked toward me like she was approaching a cliff. "Is this about him?" she asked, voice shaking. I nodded. "Part of it, yeah. But mostly it's about me." I told her that Fernando made me feel something I hadn't felt in years. Safe, respected, enough. That being with him showed me what love's supposed to feel like. Not guessing games, not broken rules, not being someone's maybe, while they chase excitement elsewhere. She broke, dropped to her knees again. It was like déjà vu. But this time it wasn't just sobbing, it was begging. "I'll go to therapy," she said through the tears. "I'll cut off Remy, Zara, Esmeralda, everyone. I'll quit my job. I'll move. Just please, please don't leave me." I stood there, staring at the person I used to plan a life with, and I didn't feel hate, or revenge, or even satisfaction. I just felt nothing. She kept talking, kept promising, kept trying to reverse a clock that already ran out. But I couldn't do it. "I gave you all of me," I said quietly, "and you handed it off to someone else, then tried to give it back after it stopped feeling good." She sobbed harder, tried to hug me again. I stepped back. "You don't miss me," I said. "You miss having someone who didn't make you question your worth. But you made me question mine." I told her I needed space, time, maybe forever, that I wasn't saying this out of spite. I was saying it because I was finally done carrying the weight for both of us. And then I walked out. I didn't slam the door, didn't leave in rage, just closed it gently behind me. And for the first time in a long, long time, I felt free. It's been a few months since I walked out of that apartment. I moved into a quiet little place across town. Nothing fancy, but it feels like mine. There's a window that catches the morning sun just right, and Fernando always leaves fresh flowers in a jar by the sink. No reason, just because. He never tries to fix me, never asks me to be anyone I'm not. He just shows up, every single day, with softness, with presence, with respect. And I'm learning how to breathe again, not just survive. Live. We take slow walks in the evening, talk about the future. Not the kind built on fixing what's broken, but building something from scratch, something honest. I finally understand now. Love isn't supposed to feel like you're drowning. It's not supposed to come with disclaimers, loopholes, or excuses dressed up as growth. Madison still messages sometimes. Short stuff. Hope you're okay. Remember this song? Still thinking about you. I don't respond. Not because I hate her. Not because I want her to suffer. But because I've finally accepted not every love story is meant to last. Some people come into your life to teach you what love isn't. So when the real thing shows up, you actually know how to hold on to it. And Madison, she taught me that. So if you're out there right now, stuck in a relationship that's draining you, confusing you, making you feel like you have to shrink just to be enough, let me tell you something. The right person will never ask you to lose yourself just to keep them. And sometimes, the one who loves you right isn't the one you started with. If this story hit home for you, drop a comment. Tell me, have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were the only one fighting? Hit that like button if you've ever had to rebuild yourself after someone broke your heart. And subscribe because we're sharing real stories, raw truth, and moments that matter. Trust me, the next one, you won't want to miss it. Until then, take care of your heart. You only get one.